I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into the transformative journey of parenthood with James Otis Price Jr., author of Having a Baby. This insightful guide flips the script, spotlighting the vital role dads play during pregnancy, labor, and beyond. Whether you're expecting or planning for the future, this conversation, this book, will empower couples to navigate parenthood as a true partnership. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. James, thanks so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan, for having me.
It's my pleasure. This is an important book because certainly dads are 50% of the equation. So it's good that they get included right from the start. Talk to me a little bit about your inspiration for writing this book, this guide.
Okay. Well, I have three children, Logan, Dawn, Jamie, James. Now I have a granddaughter, Jordan, who would absolutely kill me if I didn't say hello to my darling. But they were the inspiration for my book. As I watched my children being born, of course, when the mother was in labor, I walked through the hospital rooms, through the labor and delivery area. And all too often, I saw ladies in hospital rooms lying there alone, going through the labor pains. But again, the issue for me was, where were the fathers? Where were the fathers of these kids to be? And so, I made it my business just to do some reading, investigation, and one of the things that I was determined to do when my own children were born was to assist their mother in prenatal, natal, and the postnatal process. And there were some things that I did. Took walks with her, went to the doctors with her at the various critical times, the beginning and ending of the trimesters, learned about all her medications, memorized Social Security numbers, uh, created a kind of a checklist of duties, things that I would know and need to know. And so as I visited the doctor, for example, I even learned about tube ligation and things of that sort. So I was asking the questions in the doctor's office. And so when my son was born, he's the last one, the doctor said to me, she said, Mr. Price, she says, I've delivered over 1,500 babies. She says, you are by far the best partner I've ever seen. She says, you should write a book. And that was the inspiration.
Well, that's great that you're recognized by a woman, a doctor who has delivered 1,500 babies, and you stood out. So that's really terrific. I think it's important that men and fathers get involved right away during the pregnancy and throughout, like you said, before, during, and after the delivery, because it helps with the bonding. You're bonding not only with the child's mother, the child, your wife, but you're also bonding with your child in utero. And I think that's so important as well. You're part of the anticipation. And I think the child can sense that love, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. Logan, one of the things that we as men must realize, we can never have the baby. You see, we weren't built for it. And so if we partner with our wives or sweethearts at the beginning, from the beginning, then it should give us an appreciation of what a woman goes through. Because in my conversation with the head of internal medicine at Grady Hospital, during one of my children's birth, he told me, he says, Mr. Price, do you realize that a woman goes through death to bring a child into this world? And so, that realization was something else that struck me. To see that a woman would love someone that much to go through that certainly merits a man's participation in the process. Let me do what I can do, because I can't have the baby, but I can certainly do things to make and facilitate the process as easy and as enjoyable for my partner as possible.
Exactly. Yeah, the mom's going through discomfort,
Absolutely.
excruciating pains at time,
Mhm.
changes to her body that are very uncomfortable. And I think you're right. You need to be there. You need to be cheering her on. You need to be holding her hand, and you need to be patient. Sometimes women aren't in the best moods when they're
Sir.
expecting a baby either. And if you had all that pressure on your stomach and on your back and feeling the way you did, and your hormones were out of whack, you might be feeling kind of cranky also. So I think that's great advice. Let's talk about your book. What will the folks find when they crack open the covers of your book? What type of information are you giving them?
Well, we put emphasis on communication. The I guess if I had to up the sum up the book in one word, it would be communication. Understanding what the uh, father is going through emotionally, physically. He may feel, for example, we mentioned in the book, some men bail because they think that they may not be able to support a baby. This is something that may cause them to reevaluate their financial position. And I've known men to bail about that. Some men feel as though this is an intrusion upon the love world, the love nest. And so, it's important that we understand what the man may be thinking. And also, but at the same time, he has to understand that even though you may be going through those things, understand at the same time what your partner is going through so that the two of you need to talk. You need to be very, very open and honest about what you're feeling. And so the book encourages that more than anything. And then also near the end of the book, it talks about the checklist, the things that I feel that a man should know. For example, again, the partner's social security number, list of medications, allergies, things of that sort, the obstetrician's name, the pediatrician's name, all those things, insurance, setting up the hospital room, all those things are in the book.
Well, that's great. Communication is so important. And your checklist sounds like it's vital for dads to know that they're doing the right thing, that, yep, they can literally check that off the list. And once the baby is born, I think the dad connecting with the mom and with the child is so important as well. I think you got to be in there. You got to be changing as many dirty diapers as possible. When bottle supplementation is needed, feeding the baby as much as you can.
Absolutely.
Um, I think, you've got three children. It sounds like you're very connected with them. You have a grandchild now. This is when it's all beginning. It's all beginning during pregnancy. And this is going to, modify and shape the rest of your life, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only shape your life, shape the lives of the relationship with your partner. And as you said earlier, could shape the life of the child. Absolutely.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I used to like going a lot to the pediatrician when the baby first started going to the doctor to find out about what type of shots he or she would be getting, to find out what I could be expecting at each stage of development for my child. It
Mhm.
was such a world of information, and it was great. I mean, these are some of the best days of my life. And like you, I'm very connected with my children, but it started during pregnancy, continued throughout the pregnancy, in that labor delivery room when the baby mother is giving birth, and then of course beyond. And now they're older than me somehow. I don't know how that happened, but it's amazing. It's amazing. This is a terrific book, no doubt. Why do you think fathers have been sidelined in the past, kind of relegated as second-class citizen when it comes to parenting and when it comes to being involved in the whole pregnancy, delivery, and newborn process?
It goes back, actually has some historical foundation. If you go back, uh, a couple of centuries ago, uh, normally when the woman was delivering, you know, everybody was kept out. There would be a midwife or the doctor, and all of the TV shows that you would watch, the westerns and all the father was always in the other room. Even some of the 70, 80 comedies. The fathers were always in the delivery room, walking with the traditional cigar and pacing back and forth. but they never showed any fathers being involved in the process. So we had this stereotype of, and we set this whole expectation and pattern was set that, when this happens, you are not to be a part of it. And so this obviously had psychological and sociological ramifications, that this was the way things were.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah,
and I
traditionally, you
mentioned that
see,
in the
like you
book.
said, in TV and film, dad's at the bar having a beer, looking kind of nervous, buoyed by his friends. He needs to be in that labor delivery room. I found taking Lamaze class with my wife was very, very helpful to be there, to learn about the pain management, to learn about the breathing techniques. And that kind of also introduced you to the doctors and to the hospital and to the nursing staff as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in the book, we encourage that. Absolutely, it's got to be a participative effort, as you said, from the beginning to the end, and then, as you said, post delivery. Because, for example, when my children first came home, when they were crying at night, I was a lighter sleeper, so there were many nights that their mother would wake up the following morning. And she would ask me, she said, "Did the baby cry last night?" I said, "Yeah." Said, "Why didn't you wake me up?" And my response was, "Why should I? I was already up, and I had just as much a stake in this as you do." And so I felt no, not your job, it's our job to do this.
Wonderful. Well, you sound like a great dad, and you've written a great book to make other men great dads as well. And it's a wonderful book for moms too, so they can learn how to incorporate the father of their child into the whole birthing process. The name of the book is We're Having a Baby. It is an insightful guide that flips the script, spotlighting the vital role dads play during pregnancy, labor, delivery, and beyond. Whether you're expecting or planning for the future, this book will empower you to navigate parenthood as a true partnership. James, thanks so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me, Logan. And my blessings to all of you dads, moms, future moms. It's a great experience.
It is. Amen to that. Thanks so much for joining me here today. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time until next time on Spotlight.